work. Updated this. Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter. And we're going to look at verses 1 through 14 here. Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter. We're going to look at verses 1 through 13, excuse me. 1 through 13. Now, before I get into this, I really want to say this. I want to say this before we get into this. I think so many of our people truly want to be better. I think that every person's choices have played a part in where they are. But I think if that many of us had better understanding of what was going on, many of us would have never made the choices that we made. And I think what has happened is because of the bad choices that so many of us have made in our lives, that we got to the point where we beat ourselves up. Where some of us are so easy to forgive others, but we won't even forgive our own selves. Like you forgive somebody to do you wrong, but you find it difficult to forgive yourself when you make a bad decision. And I think that's really what's plaguing our people. So when we come along, when Israelites come along and say, listen, you're not black, you're not an African American. You're the chosen people. You're from the tribe of Judah, for the nation of Israel. You base your reception of that on yourself, on the life you've lived, not what the Most High has called you to be. You say, I'm black, man, I'm nothing. I'm just this, I'm nothing. I'm just another nigga trying to make it, as we say. Right? But that perception, that negative mindset has caused so many of our people to completely detach themselves from the Most High and to lead them in a place of desolation, to lead them in a place of hopelessness, lead them in a place of that so-called sunken place where they were trying to put in on the movie Get Out, right? And I hope the Most High releases to teach a lesson on that, because what I want to bring out on that, I'm telling you, you know what I mean? That right there, I could do a 3-hour lesson on that movie in itself. But let me not digress. But what I'm saying is that one thing before we read this next precept is you're going to have to start forgiving yourself. Because until you forgive who you are and the decision that you've made, you're going to continue to make the wrong choices. You're going to continue to cling to things that have nothing to do with you. So I just want to put that out there. I just felt the urge of the Holy Spirit to say that, because I feel that some people that are watching right now, you've been watching with us some of these 38 weeks. You've been coming on here and there, right? But you having a hard time receiving that you're the chosen people based on your own life that you've been living, right? And this don't got nothing to do with that. You understand? The church teaches you got to earn yourself into the blessings of the Most High. When the truth of the matter is that us as the Israelites has been operating in grace since we walked out of Egypt. You understand? We never did anything to deserve to be chosen. You never did anything to be to be considered to be a special people. We never did anything. But the Most High saw us that way. Another thing, many of you are remaining into the things of Christianity and the things of the church, and we talked about this before, because it's comfortable. You understand? It's comfortable. It's easy. Some of you have gained some type of stature, some type of credibility, some type of leadership position in the church, some type of stature amongst the Christians in your community. And for you to walk away from that and say, no, I'm not being a part of that anymore, and to throw away everything that you feel that you gained, some of you not willing to do it. But I'm going to tell you right now, I left everything behind when I found out I was an Israelite. I left it all. When churches called me the pastor, I said, no, I don't take it. When people ask me to come and do certain things, no, I'm sorry, I cannot accept that invitation. And I don't go into no long, drawn-out explanation trying to accuse them or browbeat them. I just got to go do what the Most High tells me to do. Right? And some of you, when we talk about you need to take a second look, you need to weigh what's really important. Stature amongst men or favor with the Most High. Because it's one thing to believe a lie, but it's another thing to teach a lie. If you go into James 3rd chapter, verse 1, that right there should be motivation enough to not be out here teaching people lies, thinking that you're doing just to hold on to what you think you got. Now, Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter, start there, verse 1.
Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Go and cry unto the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus saith the Lord, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, and the love of thy apostles, when thou wentest after me in the wilderness, in the land that was not sown.
So the Most High saying, yo, man, I remember, man. I remember the way you act towards me when I first delivered you out of Egypt. When you was all out in the wilderness just crying out, saying, you love me so much. And apostle word means engagement. When I was first engaged in you before I married you, I remember the way you used to smile at me. I remember the way you used to love on me. I remember your prayers. I remember your worships. I remember the way you see me and talked to me and treated me like I was the best thing since sliced bread. So look at verse 3.
Israel was holiness unto the Lord, and the first fruits of his increase, and that devour him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, saith the Lord.
Now, he said, when you was in this place, and you was treating me and honoring me like the way you was, I honored you. Anybody that tried to tackle you, anybody that tried to take you down, I brought disasters on them. I honored you. You were my first fruits. You was my chosen people. Verse 4.
Hear ye the word of the Lord, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel.
The Jewish people.
House of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel.
Uh-huh.
Thus saith the Lord, What iniquity have your fathers found in me, that they have gone far from me, and have walked after vanity, and become vain?
The Most High is asking, what did you see wrong with me that made you walk away from me? And I'm asking you that question today. What have you found wrong with the Bible? What have you found wrong with the Most High that you feel a need not to do it no more? Now, I already know what some of them are saying. Well, the Christianity is the white man religion, and the Bible is the white man book, and they use Christianity to enslave our people. That's the lie that they want you to believe. Okay? That's what they want you to believe. Okay, let me put it this way. If the Bible was the white man's book, why during slavery was it illegal for you to read it? Have you ever asked yourself that? Okay? See, that's what they want us to think, so that we can walk away from the Bible. We can walk away from our book. Did they not use the Bible verses and things to con us and to play us and to manipulate us? Yes. But at the same time they were doing that, they also made it illegal for you to read it. Because they know if you read it, you would see you in it, and they couldn't hold you down. Because that's what we have told people over and over and over again, that we are not an oppressed people. We are a fallen people. You understand? So many of our people are remaining oppressed. They are remaining on their backs. They are remaining in the desolate places that they are. It's because they believe that the white man has a foot over their neck, when the truth of the matter is, the only thing on you is your ignorance. The only thing that's holding you down is that you're not knowing the truth. So the Most High is asking, like, what is it that you found in me, found wrong with me, that you want to denounce my book and denounce me, but call yourself call yourself part of the conscious community? Right? What is it that you found in me, found wrong with my book, and now you want to be a Muslim? Oh, it's the white man's religion, right? Right? But when you realize, you get into the truth, and you actually do the research and the study, and you recognize that before it ever came to Egypt, ever came to Europe, you had it, that our people the one brought it to Europe, then you was like, wow, I've been bamboozled. Yes, you have. We all were. The denominations and this Protestant thing that we have here in America now, that our people, the so-called black man, the so-called African-American man is living, was given to us by our slave masters. Okay? So if your slave master was a Baptist, that's why you got a Baptist church. If your slave master was a Methodist, that's why you have an Zion church. Okay? So everything that we have here in America right now that we're doing and thinking this is a part of our community was given to us by our slave masters. There ain't nothing wrong with the Most High. Ain't nothing wrong with his Bible. What is wrong is we haven't read it. That's what's wrong. Okay? That's what's wrong with it. If anybody can sit up and preach, now, because I preached it, I'm talking about myself. If anybody can preach that Christ died on Friday and rose on Sunday, that's 3 days, that's complete nonsense. Okay? If anybody can go in there and know when the feast start, and know that the Most High, that Christ died on the Passover, which is always on the Sabbath, and say that he rose on the Sunday, that's nonsense. But it doesn't change until we read it. And many of your biases against the Bible and against God and against Christ is based on what somebody else said or somebody else did and not the actual book. Open it up and read it. And you will see yourself in it. It's time you took a second look. Verse 6.
Neither said they, where is the Lord that has brought us out of the land of Egypt and led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and of shadow of death, through the land that no man passed through, where no man dwelt.
And then at the same time, when we know we didn't find nothing wrong with the Most High, we know we didn't find anything wrong with his word, and then at the same time, we done forgot everything that he done for us. This is what happened to our people here in America. The Most High delivered us off the slave plantations. We were going through Jim Crow. We was going through attacks in the South. We was going through systematic discrimination all over America. But somehow, through all of the killing, all of the lynching, all of the political strategy to hold us down, we begin to be successful. We begin to build our own HBCUs. We begin to build our own businesses. We begin to become successful. We begin to become landowners. We begin to build communities, and churches were prominent in our communities. And then soon as a white Jewish man came and told you that you don't have to go to your own school, you go to mine. You don't have to go to your own restaurant, you go to mine. People walked away from the church, walked away from the Bible, walked away from Christ, and said, I'm going to go get me a good old education. And we forgot of the God who got us off the slave plantation. We forgot the God who protected us during Jim Crow. We forgot the God who gave us our own education, who gave us our own schools, who gave us our own businesses, who gave us our own land. We forgot about that person and said, we want a good old education. Look at our communities now. The same community that was prominent, was successful, or flourishing, are just desolate and destroyed now. God, thank you for this good old education. We forsake the truth of the Most High for lies of education. For lies. Verse 7.
And I brought you into a plentiful country to eat fruit thereof and the goodness thereof. But when ye enter, ye defile my land.
As soon as the Most High brought us into the blessing, As soon as he brought us into the houses, as soon as he brought us into the community, we begin to defile it. We act as if we didn't even know. And what makes it so bad with the children of Israel, what our people did, where we watched our people in the wilderness die there for 40 years. The Most High reintroduced the law, statutes, and commandments to us. And as soon as we went in, we went right back to the same nonsense. And then our people repeated it here in America. Got out of slavery. Seen some of our people go astray. The Most High still enriched us and empowered us. And next thing you know, the Pan-African movement came. Next thing you know, the Muslim movement began to grow. Next thing you know, the conscious movement and this Egyptology stuff began to come. Then came drugs. Then came AIDS. Then came crack. It's the same thing over and over. Because once you take your hand out of the Most High hand and put it in the devil's hand, he'll smile at you at first. But as soon as death, destruction, mayhem. Verse 8.
The priest said not, where is the Lord? And they that handle the law knew me not.
Listen, read that for him again.
The priest said not, where is the Lord? And they that handle the law knew me not.
The people that we put over the churches don't even know the Most High. The priests, they ain't in there preaching the Bible. They ain't even there preaching the truth. They ain't there preaching philosophy. They in there preaching some say yes, say yeah, hollering and screaming, jumping up on the tables, running around the room, talking about your miracle's on the way, your breakthrough's on the way, get in this line, $50, $100, $2,000, $10,000. That's what the priests are doing. And the people that we put over the law, that put in charge of giving us the truth, they don't even know the Most High. But that boy sure can preach, though. Right? He sure can preach. Where has it gotten us? And we keep going back Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday to the same old nonsense. And then when the Israelites come and say, hey man, yo, why y'all still doing that? Stop judging me, man. It's time you took a second look. What's the rest of that?
The pastors also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied by Baal, and walked after things that do not profit.
Lord have mercy. And we see that every day. I don't even need to dive into that. Verse 9.
Wherefore I will yet plead with you, saith the Lord, with your children's children will I plead.
Now, this is why we're talking about this. This is the reason why we went to this precept. Read that for him again.
Wherefore I will yet plead with you, saith the Lord,
and
I will with your children's children will I plead.
Now, we are the children's children. We have had to suffer in this country slavery, discrimination, prejudice, oppression, death, mayhem, drugs, gangs, the death care system, all of that. When I say the death care system, I'm talking about the health care system. What they call the health care system, which is the death care system. We've had to suffer all of that as a result of the sins of our forefathers. But because of the Most High is gracious and faithful, He is awakening His people now to bring us back so that we can get back into the place where He wanted us to be. But it's not going to happen until our people take that second look to re-examine themselves and see how this is working. And it's not. It's not. So He's giving us an opportunity to make a decision to choose the Most High or stay with Satan. Because we keep trying to get you to understand that as long as you're not with the Most High, I don't care what you're doing, what title you have, what church you go to, how much money in the bank. I don't care. You're with Satan. It ain't no middle ground. Because Christ said in Revelation 3, I wish that you were hot or cold. Either you're hot with the Most High or you're cold with Satan. Because if you're in the middle, he's going to spew you out of his mouth. And many of these Christians, many of you Christians, you church folks, you're content with staying in the middle. Well, I go to church and I'll serve, but I'm just going to do what I want to do here. And when I leave, my life is my life and nobody can tell me nothing. How's that working out for you? And that's the main reason why people are fighting this Israelite thing. Because you know you can't live that way as an Israelite. And we must have to reiterate, this is not a belief system. This is not a religion. You're an Israelite because you have the blood of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in your veins. You are just as much of an Israelite as a man with a German dad and a German mom is a German. Okay? You're not black. You're not an African American. You're from the tribe of Judah, from the nation of Israel. And today's lesson is, it's time you took a second look. Verse 10.
For pass over the isles of Chittim and see, and send unto Kedar, and consider diligently, and see if there be such a thing. Hath a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory, for which doth not profit.
Oh my God. Read that last part for me again.
Has a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which doth not profit.
Lord have mercy. You walked away from the church to call yourself conscious. You walked away from the Most High. You walked away from the Most High just so you can go post on Facebook, #woke. You walked away from the Bible and the Most High to refine some African gods. Are you serious? Do you know what's going to happen to any other god in this world when Christ comes back? They're going to get a sword to the chest. They're done. Psalm 96:5. All other gods are idols. You're not an African, man. You're not an African woman. So stop trying to retrace yourself to something that has nothing to do with you. Verse 12.
Be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be ye very desolate, said the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
For my people have...
No, just stop there. Now, I want you to listen very carefully before he reads verse 13.
For my people have committed two evils.
What were the two evils?
They have forsaken me, the mountain of living waters, and they have hewed them out, cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
Lord have mercy. Read that for him again.
My people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters.
So we forsake the Most High, who is the fountain. That means the everlasting resource of the living water. And did what?
And hewed them out, cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
Oh my God. You see how powerful that is? And he ain't talking about Gentiles. He ain't talking about people who don't know him. He's talking about our people. Walked away from the fountain of living water and took you on a cup, a cistern that had holes in it. So the little bit of water that he's put inside of it, the living water that he's given us, is leaking out every day. Every day, we're losing the essence and the truth of the Most High every day. And until we go back to the source and connect back to that vine, connect back to that source of that living water, we're going to perish. And that's why today's lesson is entitled, It's Time You Took a Second Look. It is time you took a second look. Now, go read the Bible to Psalms 137. Master people, please excuse me. A little under the weather. So if I sound a little congested, sound a little off, please excuse me, please forgive me. Psalms 137. Psalms 137. And we're going to look at verses 1 through 6 here. And for those who are just coming on with us, today's lesson is entitled, It is Time You Took a Second Look. Let's stop the YouTube. It is time you took